That's not Charli D'Amelio.
Lim Plus on TikTok fooled 1.1 million people into following her, only to eventually get banned and admit on a new account that she was a girl named Julia, using a near-perfect deepfake to replicate Charli's face in order to sell Lim Plus brand leggings, which she wore in every video. I mean, I get using her face to help sell your brand, but come on, that's a little creepy. The power of deepfakes like that often get overshadowed because they usually look fake, but if a neural network is given enough photos of a face, it can replicate it perfectly. So perfect, in fact, that even Tom Cruise uses it.
What's up, TikTok? Got a little tip for you. Call it a tip talk.
He's garnered over 1.4 million followers, and while he admits in his bio that he is just a deepfake and not the real Tom Cruise talking about deepfakes, he could have easily tricked the world into thinking he was legit, and I certainly would have bought it. Unlike Julia and Tom Cruise, there's tons of people who never do admit they're fake, but I can't tell you about them because just like you, I don't know who they are. How do you know Addison Rae isn't one of those people? Maybe she isn't a real person and has just been an incredible deepfake this entire time. Sure, she's been in a lot of videos, but if you've never met her in person, it's impossible to definitively prove that her or anyone or me is even real. I can tell you all I want that I'm real, but you have no real proof that the pixels you're seeing on the screen right now are really me, talking to you through a raw, slightly color-graded camera video and not a complete CGI image.
This is a problem because we don't want robots becoming smarter than us and tricking people. We need to be able to tell when someone is a robot. So how do we do it? Well, we tell them to check a box before they log in saying, "I'm not a robot." But it's a little bit more complicated than that. The I'm Not a Robot box, which is owned by Google, uses data it's already collected about you on YouTube, Google Search, and maybe even Google Drive. I mean, in this video, I typed iPhone into Google Doc 1,000 times and ended up getting more iPhone-related videos and ads on YouTube in response. Google uses this data, which you give them permission to have when you check this box, in order to authenticate you and ensure that you're a human. And if they still aren't sure, they'll make you solve one of these picture puzzles that they think an AI can't solve, but that you can. But these puzzles aren't gonna work forever. They've gotten much harder than when they started as a simple word scan that had been distorted that you just had to type back. And ironically, all the data you give Google today about which frames contain a traffic light or crosswalk or street sign is actually being sent back to the AI inside of Google's self-driven cars to create Google Maps. So the exact puzzle you solved that is made to be unsolvable by AI is actually being used to train AI to be smarter. We could keep making these puzzles harder and harder, but if the data just keeps going back to the AI, then eventually there will be nothing that we'll be able to do, but that the AI won't be able to solve. But AI is really embedded in everything we do. Every algorithm has its own form of artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence in the TikTok algorithm perfectly creates a profile around you and what you like, which is why it can perfectly recommend videos to you that it thinks will suit you well. I did some tests on that in this video. But what AI isn't able to figure out is what's true and what's false. When AI sees a video that's doing well, it's just going to recommend it. It doesn't know whether the news in the video is true and helpful or if it can be dangerous misinformation. The Facebook algorithm is considered the worst offender of this. Its algorithm is responsible for much of the misinformed conspiracies that are spread online today, from anti-vaxxers to flat earthers. And while certain instances like that are being specifically fed in as keywords to the algorithm not to recommend them, they don't realize there's a problem until afterwards, when it's already too late. In the moment, there's no way for the AI to tell it's reporting fake news, but hindsight is 2020. 2020 was the worst year of this misinformation, with COVID misinformation likely taking hundreds or even thousands of unnecessary lives.
But really, what even is AI? What makes something artificial? Maybe you're artificial, or I'm artificial, or we're all artificial. Think about it. We're creating AI so powerful that one day, far into the future, we may be able to simulate entire worlds of AI that are each smart enough to make their own decisions and that are unaware of their mere perception of free choice. Maybe those people living in a simulation will become so smart that they too will make a simulation. And then they will, and then they will, and then they will, and then they will. And even if each simulation is a bit less smart than the last, the first may have been so smart that the last will be as smart as us. In fact, some people say we live in one right now. If you threw a dart and landed on a world, chances are you wouldn't land on the original unsimulated world. statistically, you would probably land on one of the simulated ones, making the chance statistically that we live in a simulation an infinitely high number to 1.
Whoa! The problem is, we don't know how to make a simulation, so we can't live in any of those simulated worlds. All of those worlds know how to make a simulation of themselves, and we don't. So that eliminates all of those possibilities if you were to throw a dart. That means we either live in this one, the original world that's unsimulated, or this one, the most recently created world, and we're still waiting to create what's next. That makes the chances of being simulated 50-50. So in reality, we are real, and so is Addison and Charlie and Tom Cruise and everyone. But wait, what if they created a world just to reminisce about a time when we couldn't simulate? We could be this world, purposely created to be dumb, with us being considered practically bacteria to them. That possibility tips it a bit over that 50% mark and may mean that it's more likely than not that we are simulated.
But who cares? Really, who cares? Let's just live our lives. YOLO, let's do what we can to make our real or non-real lives as great as they can be. That's why I use Skillshare, an online learning platform for honing your favorite skills and the sponsor of today's video.
Skillshare is essentially an online school for learning the stuff you want to learn.
I'm a big fan of Brandon Wolfol's class on photography because he is incredible, and I highly recommend learning from him and his tips. But there are classes on everything, from Marquez Brownlee's class on creating videos for YouTube that I talked about last time, as well as classes on building a business, drawing, or really anything you can think of. If you want to learn it, there's probably a class on Skillshare. And boy, oh boy, y'all are lucky ducklings, because I've got a great deal for you. The first 1,000 people to click the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. Just click the link and you get a free trial. What is there to lose?
And if not, it's just $10 a month for a yearly subscription.
So thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video.
So, what do you think? Am I real? Of course I am. Right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. There's no way to be sure. But whoever I am, I can guarantee that, as always, I'll see you next time.